Starting the Angry Chicken, the final episode in 3, 2, 1.
Every episode of The Angry Chicken is made possible by our amazing patrons over at patreon.com/tac. For more of Jocelyn's content, check out jossplays.com. And if you can't get enough of Ridiculous Hat, follow him over on Twitter at Ridiculous Hat. The Angry Chicken is a production of A-Move TV.
Time's up. Let's do this.
Legendary!
You face Jaraxxus. You smell like a leper gnome. I knew it. So A podcast about Hearthstone and Battlegrounds. This is The Angry Chicken.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Angry Chicken. I'm your host, Jocelyn, and joining me, as always, is my wonderful co-host, Ridiculous Hat. Hello, Hat.
Hello.
You gotta bring it up. You gotta bring the happy. Let's go. We have plenty of time this week. Plenty of time for the feels. Speaking of the feels, Garrett is here.
I'm just gonna be here with a glass full of undisclosed liquid until we cry or one of us starts singing Gudrun's Time of My Life.
No, none of that. None of that.
That's
Happy
what
feels.
I'm here to do.
Happy feels.
That's what I'm here to do. Yeah.
We are here
Now,
for two things, Hearth and Stone. That's it. That's all we're here for.
Oh, is that what this show is about?
Most of the time.
Oh, I thought I was being invited on a backyard chicken coop podcast. That's what
After that intro video, that might be true. And big thanks to Storm Rage and Alkali for putting together a very compelling pre-roll video. For those of you audio listeners, I'm not going to try and describe what happened, but Daniel beat up a chicken on video.
Yeah. Listen.
No animals were harmed.
No, it was.
Listen, I'm not in charge anymore, but audio listeners, drop what you're doing and go watch a video version of this show. You're required. There's going at the beginning and the end, there will be visual aids, and you will not want to miss this. Visual aids is not a very hype-worthy term, but you know, you get the idea.
You know what is hype? Our epic patrons that support the Angry Chicken. Here you go,
I know
Justin.
this one.
I did a segue.
Patreon.com/TAC.
Yes, absolutely. We are supported by our epic patrons. We have so many more to thank this week than any other week. You guys have been crazy, amazing, ridiculously generous for this, our final Angry Chicken episode. So thank you very much to Nico, Thanks, Hat. Joe, I got that one.
Well done.
Enraged Chicken, Jeffrey, Mr. Bandit, and a huge thank you to our 7 new producers: Daniel S., Jared M., Spaceman Spiff, Daniel M., Brandon F., Stephen K., and Alan. Thank you guys so much for the incredible support over at patreon.com/tac. Like we said last week, the Discord isn't going anywhere. That will be available to you guys. We're going to push it public. We're going to make it open. I don't know, however you want to think about that, but we do appreciate the support for the final episode. If you are a patron of The Angry Chicken, you don't need to cancel. You don't need to do anything. We're not going to be pushing any more episodes to the feed, so you will not be charged. So you can just leave it alone and keep your purple names.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a thing too that said, you know, I'm not gonna read the benefits, so I don't feel guilty about this. If you're watching live, there's still time to go and become a producer. So if you want to leave a nice tip for these two on the way out the door, there's still time. You should probably do that, because this show has continued to kick righteous ass in my absence. I wonder what that says.
I wasn't going to say anything.
I didn't think you were.
Shall we talk a little bit about some Hearthstone news? Is that something we might want to do? little
I've
bit.
got this button right here.
Good news, everyone!
We got a patch. 26.0.2 on Friday. So we got a couple changes to Constructed, some stuff to Battlegrounds, other adjustments and bug fixes. Construct Quarter got hit again. So it's, I think, much better now from somebody who doesn't play its perspective. 3 durability down to 2 durability, which is very, very good. It needed another nerf. It was still way too strong.
This is the second 3-day patch we've ever had, last expansion and this expansion, where 3 days in, they said, let's do some stuff. Now, that's a new thing. Last expansion was more impactful, where they took 2 Mana Shockspitter, I can't believe that was printed too, and then Sired Denathrius, and they said, nah. So, this time, it was more nudges, little nudges. None of the cards that got nerfed, none of the 3, are unplayable. They are worse, but they're still in decks, and the decks they're in are still good. Which usually means, if you nerf a bunch of cards, and they all keep seeing play, and those decks are all solid, they were good nerfs. Because you made them worse and it's still fine. Just means more space was given to other decks, but you don't delete these. Love that. I like that. These are not meant to be, oh, we're redefining the meta 3 days after it comes out, because you cannot do that. But it is saying, what if we sanded down the edges just a little bit before the first weekend so people can try some other stuff? I dig it.
What do you think about the change to Light Ray? Because I feel like this was one where, I mean, it's been around for a while. Like, Light Ray is not a new card, but it seemed like Paladin was really starting to kind of ramp up a little bit, and to the point that they were getting almost too good. And I was like, man, they're getting such early Light Rays. This doesn't feel like it's working as intended.
I mean, the 3 things they nerf, right? Light Ray, Vengeful Walloper, and Construct Quarter are all like too many stats too quickly. Construct Quarter, they nerfed the too quickly part, but it was really the too deep into the game part. But it wasn't really an outlier card. It just was the only thing that they could hit that hit all 3 Death Knights at once. But Pure Paladin is still, if I look Diamond through Legend since this balance patch, it is still the best deck in the game. So, reasonable nerf, not meant to delete the deck, didn't, very clearly. It's still like literal number 1, but imagine how much further ahead it would be if it got to play a bunch of free 5/5s a turn sooner. It would be better. So I'm glad it's not better than first place.
Yeah, would that be 0 place?
Tier S, I think the kids call it. I think that's what they call it.
S plus plus.
Yeah, that sounds possible.
Cheating?
Yes, there you go. Which with Death Knight last expansion.
Yes.
So
Or
and
maybe
Death Knight's
rigged?
still-
Maybe rigged?
yeah, kind of something like that. Oh, broken. Broken is the word.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, that's the opposite of working.
Correct. But it is working.
And in this
But it is
case,
broken.
maybe as intended.
So it's worth noting, by the way, if you go and look at HSReplay, Diamond through Legend, the most recent patch, the top 4 decks are Pure Paladin, Death Knight, and Death Knight. So Frost is the best one, but it's Frost, then Blood, then Unholy. They're all really, really good. There's been a lot of discussion about how, well, of course they're good, they didn't lose anything. In retrospect, that's true. So they're probably going to nerf it with the next patch. And also, we got a little teaser tweet from Aleko today, where he said preview of the next patch and posted a really buff dude. Get it? Do you get it? They're going to do buffs.
I was like,
Oh.
I thought you meant they were gonna buff Dude Paladin. I'm like, but no. We just finished saying Paladin's already on top.
I mean,
think Paladin's
if
gonna
you
be
want to give a preview of the next patch and Death Knight is too good to give a preview of the next patch, all you really need to do is like post a picture of March of the Lich King. That would be the preview.
Or when Death Knight was somehow newly released and less good. And now it is...
That is indeed the joke. Yes, if there's too many Death Knights, just bring it back to the expansion they launched in.
What they should have done last time is just put out April of the Lich King, and it would have been much better. And then...
Boo.
Listen, that low-hanging fruit, I can't reach much higher. You're going to have to, like...
I know
work with
this
me here.
isn't the last time I get to boo you because I'll still talk to you after this. But that
I
might be the
appreciate
last
that.
recorded one. Might
That's
be the
not-
recorded one.
I don't always get that treatment. The I will talk to you again in the future, that's not a given after I make my dad jokes.
I think Domdat in the chat room really summarized it with boo heart.
Well,
How
thank
we
you,
feel
Domdat.
about you and your
I boo you with all the love I
boo
can
and
manage.
love, yes.
But so, Joss, have you tried any ladder at post-patch and seen or felt anything? Did you get any chance to run some of that Totem Shaman I sent you?
I did play that Totem Shaman, and it's the first time in a long time because, like you guys know, I felt awful for the last couple months. And so I literally wasn't doing anything other than like sleeping, throwing up, sleeping, throwing up. It was wonderful. Miracle of life, right? So
That
Sounds
doesn't
remarkably like
sound-
my college experience.
right.
Okay, 1, yes. 2, it doesn't sound that compelling.
It definitely I couldn't play anything, so I fell way behind in the Hearthstone meta, and I tried the best I could to watch streams and keep up, but there's like something about actually like playing the game that makes a big difference. And so I hadn't been doing that. And so when the expansion launched, and even in like the like days leading up to the rotation and stuff, like I had no idea what the meta was doing. I was like losing games left, right, and center. I played that Totem Shaman list. It's the first time in months I felt like a competent Hearthstone player. I didn't lose a game. That thing just rocks.
Yeah. See, I knew it was great because I didn't hear from you all day instead of, I can't fucking do this anymore. Why do I even play
Yeah,
Hearthstone?
usually you get play-by-plays.
It's
Wait, are we dropping F-bombs in here now? What has happened?
Yeah, whatever.
It's Garrett.
Fuck
Hello.
yeah.
This.
What are people gonna do? Unsubscribe?
Oh. Also, Garrett. Hi. This podcast is the Angry Chicken. So, we.
What would be particularly wonderful is if everyone pushed this on their friends to subscribe for the last episode, get us back into the top 10 of video games iTunes category, just for the last, like, let's go. It's all new subs. That's how it works. That's how it works. This is not a secret.
It would be really funny if we were wildly successful. Wouldn't that be a great joke, you guys? Ha 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 ha. Ha ha. Please subscribe.
Wait.
But yeah, so that Totem Shaman list, and I looked at it and I was like, basic totems. Who wants basic totems? And then like before I know it, I'm winning with a board full of basic totems on turn like 5, and I'm like, what is happening with this thing?
See,
it was
there's this
fun.
Yeah, and there's this 5-mana card that shamans have used sometimes called Bloodlust that you have a bunch of totems and then they're dead now. And like I enjoy that. The dead now part is like what I like that one.
Well, and it's got all the support now, and it like not just like one totem support card. I think Thing from Below coming back made a big difference.
Oh yeah.
Then the Rotgill and Eyesore and Stone Right is the other one. There's like 3 really solid like bomb cards that make your totem so much better or make your minions so much better that I'm just like, man, I have multiple ways to make this totem deck work. And it feels like Shaman, like Totem Shaman specifically, has never had just quite enough support, but now everything is back in standard and it's so much freaking fun.
It's nice. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I had a feeling.
Yeah, I really did.
And honestly, if playing that deck is stone wrong, then I don't want to be stone right.
Do you just have a list? Are you like teeing me up?
This is
With all
unfortunately
kinds of
my
things.
most developed skill set. So please take a moment later and reflect on what that means for the rest of my brain. It's not pretty, but this is kids, this is what your brain on Twitter will look like. Don't do it. Don't do it. Save yourselves.
Really hard to get a different job.
It might be. So we also had a ton of changes to BGs. 29 heroes got armor changes. Then they hotfixed again today. They knew we had a show, and they hotfixed another 20 heroes. So I'm not going to list all the armor changes because half of them are outdated because of the other patch they did. Fixing their game. What's up with that?
How dare they?
Did you start doing that? I remember back when I was here, I was like, we're not listing armor changes. There's too many. This is ridiculous.
Oh, no.
It's like reading
Oh,
a
no,
phone
no,
book.
we definitely don't.
Okay, all right. Hey, woof.
We're listing that there was a list, and
Yeah.
then
You have
inviting
to make
the
it a
listeners
game.
to
Like,
explore. Nah.
I'm gonna give you ideas for the next episode. You have to make it a game. You have to do the Ace Ventura thing where you breathe in really deep and then you gotta list them all off in one breath.
Oh my
Like,
Garrett,
that's
I
the
got
only
some
way you-
bad news about that next episode thing. This is the last one.
Listen, TAC 2. When TAC 2 happens, you know.
Do you see what happened with Overwatch 2? I don't know. We want to do TAC 2.
Ooh.
I didn't, because literally no one on social media talks about that game.
Anyways, Blizzard was very nice to us, so let's just move on rapidly.
I'm really excited for Diablo 4.
Yes.
I fell off of Overwatch 1 faster than your average panda, so yeah.
But Diablo 4 looks fun. You know what else looks fun?
Diablo 4 is fun.
You know what else is fun? All the other changes they made to buddies, because they moved 6 buddies down a tier. Festergut, by the way, Putricide's buddy, it summoned a random undead thing when it died, and that could include taking Abomination, which, if you recall, was memed on during the release of Knights of the Frozen Throne. Garrett, you remember that set. Joss, you remember that set. The first reveal blew up your own board. Well, that was happening to players in Battlegrounds. They got to feel the Knights of the Frozen Throne experience just like we did. Why would I want that? And then their board died. It was really great, except for the people playing it, so they removed that from the pool. So your own board will no longer randomly blow up from cards you choose to play. So that's nice.
Which is kind of sad. I love how I think it's sad, you think it's nice. I think it's hilarious. When that would happen, that would be hilarious.
You're
to somebody else.
If there's a part of your energy, Joss, that is like if the Joker was like a Powerpuff Girl sometimes, like you, the bubbly happiness, but the agent of chaos.
I feel like that's actually very accurate.
And it took me 10 years to realize this, but here we are.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm like, my own stuff blowing up is sad, and Joss is over there like smiling into the camera. That was intense. I felt the intensity.
Blow things up. Let's go.
Yeah. I'm glad you're happy, and also won't stay in any of your rental properties if you have any. But then also, that's not the only things that changed. We had 4 buddies that moved up a tier. Denathrius buddy gets harder subquest. Dr. Boombox. Did either of you go to a laser show? Because I did. It was called Facing Dr. Boombox, and all my stuff died. I didn't like that laser show. So they made him a tier higher.
I think
Coincidence following Coachella or not?
I think that was it was a good change. I felt like only a few people, like when Dr. Boombox first came out, there were only a few people I saw really talking about him and his power level, and one of them was Bofer, and just basically saying like, why would you not pick this? It's 7 plus 21 damage. This seems ridiculous for tier 4 in the part of the game where you get him. And I think the problem is that once everybody realized what that power level was and then started doing the like infinity boombox comps, that's when things really got out of control. And that became like the best way to play Battlegrounds. And because, you know, like there all the time. And yeah, I think it was a good move to tier 5, less of them available, less people are going to be able to do the comp. It's going to be harder to do the comp. It's still going to be available, which is good, but it's not going to be there all the time.
Yeah, I think tier 4 was pretty important because Monstrous Macaw is on tier 3, which means you would triple into a 4 on 3 with a bird, and then you would have laser birds. And those sound unsafe. So, seems like a reasonable change. I have still seen plenty of these in like clips and screenshots and whatever. It's not dead, but it's definitely slower.
Yeah, no, it's still around. Yeah, but you have to work a little harder, and I feel like when you have a comp that can totally, completely annihilate your opponent's board no matter what it is, then maybe that should be harder.
I agree.
Yeah.
And
yeah, that's pretty much it, right, for Battlegrounds? Other than like you say, today they changed things on Friday and changed things again today. So if you care about armor tiers, go look them up. I don't really, mostly because they just have the armor that they have. when I get my 4 hero choices.
Yeah, it's that I don't pay too much attention to it, and they change things so much that I just assume that they have it figured out. And I will say I find it worth it to get HSReplay Premium because they tell me how frequently a thing is picked and how much it wins, and like, thank you for putting that in front of me because I'm not going to go get it, and I'm not going to be previously informed, so.
The only request I have for the HSReplay folks, and you have to do it because it's the last episode of TAC, and so I'm pretty sure that's the rule. I get one wish. My wish is show me what achievements I have got with the hero, because that is the one thing that I really like about Firestone that isn't available in HS Replay. And the one thing that I really like to chase is like my first place or my fourth place or whatever achievements with heroes. And I don't know where to get that information on HS Replay. So it'd be really nice if they put those little icons at the bottom. That's all. That's you have to do it because I said so.
You listen. I feel it's bad form as a guest to come on and tell you what your wish should be. So I will phrase it this way. I am personally aghast that you have this power. Maybe you seem to have assumed you have this power.
Myself, this
and
power,
you're not using it for Year of the Unicorn. Because I'm gonna be honest, I've been following Hearthstone super close the last few months. But you better damn well believe I immediately went to go check what the name of the year was this year. And was like, ooh, oh, my friend is going to be so pissed.
I mean, like, they have to do it sometime. And that's why I'm not wasting my wish, is because I think Hearthstone's in a really great place right now. I think Hearthstone's going to be around for a really long time. Eventually, they're going to run out of animals. They will have to be the Year of Unicorn at one point or another because there will be no more animals.
This got very Darwinian very quickly of just, we're going to eliminate everything else. Eventually, there will only be unicorns.
Exactly. Yeah.
Darwinian makes me think of intelligence. I prefer battle by I'm going to go with Thunderdomey. We got very Thunderdomey in here.
Okay. I can Mad Max. Yeah. I can do that.
The last Corsair standing becomes the mascot of the standard year.
Yeah. So I feel like that's already taken care of. So I'm using my wish for achievements shown in the UI from HS Replay. That would be wonderful.
Which is also a much more approachable wish because, like, I know the HS Replay people, they'll just listen and be like, okay, so, yeah, I think that'd be cool. Just put a little marker of heroes you haven't gotten first with, if you're the kind of person that can get first in BGs a bunch of time, which, like, must be nice, I'm sure. And then just show, like, because what, it's top 4, top 2, first? Those are the 3?
It's just play a game and then top 4 and then first.
That should be so top 8. I can do that one. I got that covered. Right. So we just do 3. That's I'm sure.
I used to have a notebook. I used to have a notebook when Battlegrounds first came out, and I would like keep track of. I wrote down all the heroes, and then I'd have little check marks. Yeah, because I wanted to get all my achievements, but there's so many heroes now. I just can't keep track. So I need it in my tracker. It's called a tracker. It's supposed to do these things for me.
The only paper I ever had for a game post internet, because pre-internet it was like my Mortal Kombat codes and shit, like in the little booklet. It was rating. In WoW, I had a notebook back when I used to raid lead. I never. That's wild. I had no idea you freaking tracked achievements on paper. That's intense.
It was just because it's like playing games with heroes, because you only get to choose from 4 at a time. Like, it's really hard to remember what you've played with, what you haven't played with. And especially when like there's some heroes like Kitty and Alex that I pick all the time, no matter what is offered. That means that
I see.
Like...
good to know some things haven't changed in my
No. Are you kidding me? I don't care what the meta is. I don't care. Quests, buddies, doesn't matter. Alex all
Bigglesworth
day.
has long been, in my opinion,
dance for me, co-host. Dance for me. I was so hoping that Alex Strauss was going to come up today.
Jeez. Whew. My goodness. I know Denathrius is like the #1 hero right now, according to the stats I've seen, but you don't need to get so daddy in here. Jeez.
This is fun. This is fun. We should do this every week for 10 years.
I think the show's got legs.
It does.
Oh my god.
But also,
don't say that. You're gonna give people false hope.
Anyways, we'll eliminate that by the end of the episode. Don't worry, as we get progressively more intoxicated, or as you get progressively more tired of us.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is water.
Katie, give me my acoustic guitar. We need to sing some Green Day in here.
Garrett, I will cut you off. If you Wonderwall, I'm kicking you out of the Discord call. No Wonderwall.
Don't worry. I don't know how to play that song.
I'm sure you'd
No,
figure it
he's
out,
gonna
but you're not
time
gonna
of
try.
our life us.
Get a friggin' piano. It's been a long day.
So you know what else?
You, my friend.
So you know what else? It's been at the time of our life playing with Going Down Swinging, but the combo no longer works because they fixed it today. See, look at the grace of that segue. So there was a thing where multi-strike into Going Down Swinging, it let you like launder your attacks. You would turn the multi-strike ones that could only hit minions into ones that could go face. You could go face like 3 times a turn. It doesn't matter. I don't need to explain it because it's not in the game anymore. They changed it. They got rid of it. So you won't see it on TV this week in the Master Store. That no longer works. If you saw anyone posting lists and they called him Gonk DH as a reference to a very old Druid card that never saw any play until Wild got Degenerate, don't worry. You don't need to understand it because it's gone now. They adjusted some arena stuff. They banned Groovy Cat from duels. There is a note. If you used to look at what your opponent was hovering with their mouse and you saw the red glow and you cared about that.
Interesting.
Right. They had to turn it off. So there was a thing. If you had one of the newfangled signature cards, the tooltip is the only place you see the text in the card. You have to hover the card. But when your opponent hovered their cards, it made your tooltip go away. You had to unhover and rehover. And so anytime you had a signature in play, they could just sweep back and forth in their hand, and you would never be able to read your own card. So, not
Which
ideal.
apparently has been a bug for a really long time, but hasn't mattered until this expansion with these signature cards that have no text on them.
Right, because all their other cards like
very
had
cool.
words, right? Like the other cards had words on them, which is most cards like have those, and these were like nah. And then it came up. So,
by the way, the new signature cards are freaking gorgeous.
Oh, they're so nice. They're colorful, which is great.
We can have an art talk with Garrett. Signature
Let's
cards.
do that.
They're
Garrett,
so
art.
They literally addressed like my gripe. Like they straight up like on was it the final episode or no? It was when I guessed it. I think it was when I
This
guessed
is the final
it
episode. We're doing that right. We're here now.
It's about me right now, dude. Okay, my final episode, not yours. This is yours. I'm a guest.
You seem comfortable though.
Chat's memeing about the guest thing, and I just find it cute and adorable. But yeah, I mean, they literally addressed my gripe. Like I was just like, yeah, it's just weird that they're monochromatic. Like I also believe I went on a tirade that sepia actually indicates a very specific color, and those were not sepia. It was just like a blue color layer in Photoshop. But yeah, this looks like Hearthstone. Like Hearthstone is extremely vibrant and saturated, and very in your face color palettes, and it's fun and it's pretty. And these new signature cards, they bring that to the proverbial yard.
Well, and I feel like this is a really good set too to really showcase that change from that monochromatic signature card to full color, because this expansion, it might be one of the most colorful over the top expansions we've had. It's like every class is just color everywhere.
It was
color
like
and lasers and rainbows and everything.
I was really impressed when I saw the reveal trailer and just saw the card art. Like, I'm still on Twitter. I see you all getting your reveals, hyping up your Hearthstone stuff. And like my first thought was, oh my, they found a way to one up Sunken City, because Sunken City had that like rave in the desert vibe somehow, even though it was underwater.
It's a very moist desert.
Yes. I don't know why that offends me so deeply, but
Florida.
Yeah, it is quite moist here. Yes. Yes. Damn.
But there's also sand.
There is also sand,
which is a key part of the desert. See, it's just math.
Thank you. They addressed it. New signature cards are very pretty. More, please. Thank you.
But they don't have words on them, and so they made it so that you can read your own cards, which is cool. But they turned off the ability to hover or see your opponent's hovers, which is less cool, but they're working on restoring that coolness in a future patch. It has to be a full download patch, so I'm guessing 0.2, which is going to be early May, if my projections are correct. Not official, okay. I don't have data, but projections. It's usually 4 weeks from the expansion date.
I just have to say something / ask you guys something. Does anyone else feel self-conscious knowing their opponent can see their red hovers? Because I definitely do. Like, I would be okay if this just never turned back on again, because when I have to like hover a card, if it's like something I don't know or I'm unsure of an effect or something, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed my opponent can see me do this. They're gonna know I'm so dumb.
I don't think so. I don't think so. It's, you know, it's probably why people are asshats on the internet. You know, it's anonymity. They don't know who I am. They don't know who I am across the table from
there
them.
There are multiple people in the chat room agreeing with me right now. I feel a lot better.
Okay, now I want to poll everyone. Like, how many of the folks that agree with you like played Magic before Hearthstone? Because if you played Magic before Hearthstone, you probably did it in person, because Magic the Gathering Online was not a video game by the definition
I
of
just
video
said what
games.
it was. It was.
Yes. So you went and played it in person. You actually sat at a table across from other people, which I know is like an insane concept. But the amount of times I had to like, you look at them and you point to a card and you go, "Do you mind?" And they go, "Yeah, sure." And I picked it up and freaking read it.
Novels.
And you know what they were thinking? We got a reader. We got a reader. That's how you know.
We got a reader. Yeah, they do.
Yep.
And you know what? I didn't care. I didn't. Also, like, I mostly played in pre-releases. So while yes, we listened to limited resources because they would do spoiler podcasts, and yeah, I kind of knew what was going on. Still, it's like, yeah, I don't retain that many cards on a new set, and it's the first damn night, and it's midnight, and I'm over caffeinated. I need to read the card. So that's embarrassing in person, and so being embarrassed digitally in the privacy of my own room, wearing my boxers, and they don't know who I am, totally fine. Absolutely, totally fine. Doesn't bother me in the least.
But here's the tangent question. So let's say you have two cards you're going to play in the same turn in your hand, and you have a key order in mind, and then you get it backwards, and you feel a little ashamed that you got the order backwards. Do you, A, make the slightly less optimal play, but play the cards in the wrong order, or B, hold the other card forever, lose the game, and never let your opponent see that you ever had it? Jocelyn?
If I don't, just bottom right, bro.
You either shame concede or you hold it inside and then die with that secret. So your opponent never knows you misplayed because they never get to see the card.
Yeah, they think you never had the card.
Right.
That's like stopping in the middle of your wrong math answer in class. You're like, and you just see the eyebrow.
No, Garrett. The lesson you learn from there is never answer. That is the lesson you learn.
I mean, that was my play, but also I was an idiot in math. So, but holy shit.
So anyways, to answer the question here, it depends on what state of mind I'm in while I'm playing. And it depends how focused I am or how tilted I am. Because there are definitely negative mental states where I'm like, well, I just got to think better and play better. And then I make a clear misplay. And then that's the shame concede. Other times I'm like, I'm on a good run, but I made the mistake. I better not let them know. And then there are times in the middle I'm like, I'm just throwing cards down.
That would be a really good name for a Hearthstone podcast. You should start a show called Shame Concede.
I carry that in my heart every day, Garrett. Okay, this got melancholy. Anyways, the point here is I'm glad they're going to turn the hovering back on because it provides information in the grand scheme of things. An opponent in a virtual card game is not large enough to have an impact in our personal emotional life, or at least it doesn't have to. Does that answer your question, Joss? I know you asked a while ago.
I mean, what was my question at this point?
I don't know. I was hoping you did. I certainly don't.
Jeez.
Oh,
what else
that
happened?
is the show in a nutshell.
I didn't think we were going to get this personal on the topic of hovering cards.
Yeah.
We're only 33 minutes in. We're 33 minutes. We got a lot of runway ahead of us. Let's just keep up. This plane got to take off. Let's go.
Well, we should probably talk about, now that you did mention that we're not going to see this in Masters Tour. There is a Masters Tour this weekend. I did see a post on HS, the Esports account, last night, I think. So we now have more information. There's a blog post up now too as well. And there's a very quiet Masters Tour coming this weekend. I kind of forgot that this was a thing, but we are getting some broadcast, and we have a lot of familiar names on the casting desk, which is good because I know like a lot of people were really kind of up in the air, question marky at the end of last year when the esports announcement came out as to what that might mean for some of our favorite casters. So, and I think actually your Edelweiss, your Coin Concede co-host, is also casting this Masters Tour, which is amazing.
Hell yes.
Yep, it's the details of this whole thing have been touch and go, but I will say that 2 hours ago we got a tweet from Hearthstone Esports, the official account. We'll have more information and better overall communication and event details moving forward. A lot of changes to get adjusted to start things off this year. Remember that A-Bar only left Blizzard like a month ago. Taking over a role like that with a likely dramatically reduced budget, limited headcount, limited structure, it's a thankless task, and so it's really, really difficult to do, but I don't blame the players of the first Masters Tour after the significant reduction in Hearthstone Esports saying, well, this feels thrown together, because it kind of does.
Yeah.
I'm hopeful that there's enough visibility, but at this point, it's not clear that every match is going to be casted. Like, I don't know what the schedule is. I know that they have a bunch of people lined up for it, but I'm hoping that when it comes on this weekend, that we just get to chill and watch some Hearthstone and it feels like a normal event, even though the advertising is limited. But they advertise the Solary Invitational in the client. I'm sure there will be buttons in the client. I'm sure there will be like YouTube notifications, Twitch notifications, whatever. But it's for anyone that was concerned going into this year saying they are de-emphasizing this part of the game and defunding the resources, it's pretty hard to argue with that conclusion in this moment. I'm hoping we get proven wrong by the end of the weekend, but as of right now, it does look like things are barely held together. And so I really, really hope that things improve as the event actually comes on and that we hear a little more about it, and that I'm past the point of hoping that the numbers are better, because I just don't think that's in Hearthstone's future, but I'm hoping that the production is stable and that we get to see some good games and we get to see everybody. I hope that everyone that plays in this 16-person event gets to be on camera at least once.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. So this is the first instance we've had of the like super ultra mega pared down Masters Tour. So we're kind of like used to our Masters Tour of hundreds of people and all the Swiss rounds, everything else, and we don't get that now. Now we have our 16 players. It's 2 days, so it's Saturday and Sunday. But it will be on Twitch, which is a really good thing. That YouTube contract is finally over, so now we get Hearthstone Esports back on Twitch. And yeah, so hopefully, I know you said, like, oh, numbers, too late to hope for better numbers, but maybe it's back on Twitch now, and there's Twitch drops. So spread the word, guys. Watch Masters Tour.
I'm going to have it open.
I'm just sitting here thinking about, here's the storm going, could be a lot worse.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and we still have the Battlegrounds one too. Why am I blanking on what they called it? Lobby Legends. Thank you. I was like, Battlegrounds buddies? That's not right. Lobby Legends. I was like, I knew it was alliteration.
The Legends are our buddies.
Esports has been tough, and not just in Blizzard, but definitely like if you follow more than one Blizzard esport, you've seen a massive reining back, right? Like it does just seem like it was unsustainable at its current size. Like they've ended some esports straight up, and they've pared back others. Like we're not going to get a blog post explaining exactly why. They're not going to be like, here's our receipts and here's how much it made, and but you can look at the destination and kind of draw your own conclusions. It's a bummer, but I'm still glad they're trying to make it work. Like they're still making competition and hosting official competition.
And this is not a Blizzard thing. The industry is kind of did you all ever watch Roadrunner growing up? They're all Wile E. Coyote after they run over the cliff right now. They're looking down and then falling, because there are so many esports orgs that have just like imploded because, oh whoops, we have no money now. Not even the ones that were tied in with gross FTX things, just like normal esports organizations just saying, oh yeah, by the way, we're done now because we cannot sustain this. I've asked the question many times of how do esports orgs stay in business, and the answer that I never, yeah, that was the real answer, because I never got a satisfying answer. I never figured out where does the money come from, how does it make sense to sponsor these, and then it turns out that was where a bunch of companies landed too, and the whole industry has shrunk a lot. And so Blizzard is a symptom, not the cause. But it's a central symptom. Overwatch was supposed to be a really, really big thing where they sell franchises and, like, there are local teams, and Serena Williams, right? That was the thing. Serena Williams.
I was going to say, yeah, and they were going to have, like, set salaries that were going to all the players, and it was going to be like a real sport, you guys. And yeah, I don't know. That didn't seem to really.
Yeah, and listen, I've never been a huge Overwatch guy, but like also like Overwatch League, the timing couldn't have been worse. Like it didn't really get an honest chance either. Like right when they were supposed to start doing at-home games on the regular, COVID hit.
Yeah, true.
So and
yeah.
That was an expensive extension into, revving that all up.
Mm-hmm.
And then that, listen, again, we're not going to get the blog post with them detailing exactly how much it hurt, but it had to have.
Yeah. So
yeah, and I think that like companies like first parties who like Blizzard who run their own esports are probably in a better financial situation because it very much, and we've talked about this especially over the last year or so, like it basically falls under their marketing budget, right? So, like they use it as a tool to make money by selling their product like directly. It's not like a third party trying to figure out a pathway to monetary success. They already have that pathway, and that pathway is card packs, right? So, like as long as esports is bringing some eyeballs in, then it might as well just be a commercial. And, like that's maybe not the best thing for like the competitive viability of the esport, but that means it gets to stick around, at least from the first party.
And I can see people like recoiling from like the idea of being sold, right? But like, the truth is, you were always being sold on something. Like it's a product, like, and even like it's true of anything you watch, spectator wise. Like even like you watch the NFL, like they're not trying to sell you on the NFL, but they're trying to sell you on Fantasy League and Nike or whatever brands they're wearing, or Gatorade. Cars. Shout out UF.
A lot of car commercials.
Yes, a lot of car. Exactly. Yeah. I was thinking about all of the sketchy commercials for vague tech things that are probably getting too much money right now. Yes.
No, they were. Don't worry. That ship sailed pretty hard.
Yeah. So, and it's like, it's not the end of like official Blizzard esports does not always equal the end of esports for the Blizzard game that you care about. Like StarCraft 2 esports still kick ass. They're just being done by third parties, and they were always done by third parties, and they kept going even when there was an official StarCraft 2 league that Blizzard supported, or like that was in-house. There was still a lot of third party stuff out there. So I feel like StarCraft 2 has had a really elegant transition. I'm sure everyone in StarCraft 2 that's a lot closer to me may not feel the same way. But as a casual viewer from time to time, like I look at StarCraft, I'm like, man, there's still some Heroes of the Storm stuff out there, but nothing like what StarCraft 2 has. And that's because StarCraft 2 already had a grassroots audience and already had really professional organizations out there, like your DreamHacks, for example. Mm-hmm. I don't think they're as involved with StarCraft 2 these days, so it might be a bad example. But whatever the case is, you have organizations out there that are still producing content and fostering a place for esports to happen for a lot of the titles that are out there. So, to me, and it's a little, I fully understand this a little me, I'm old man on my front porch, but that's how I knew esports before we started getting officially backed things by the studios that were making the games. And so to me, like, I trust that more personally for the long run. To me, I see it as more sustainable.
I am really curious why, because they did that, Blizzard, Hearthstone sold that bundle, that esports bundle one time, and it was a capped value too, which I always thought was super weird. And I'm curious to know why, because like we hit the cap, people threw money at it. And, that's also been a successful model in a lot of other esports. That's where a lot of other prize pools come from. I'm kind of curious as to why they didn't create special card pack you could buy to very specifically support Hearthstone Esports. Like if that was my choice in the client to, buy, 40 packs and it cost me $10 more than buying 40 normal packs, but it went to esports, I would totally do that. So like, I don't know why they haven't really like explored more of that kind of stuff.
How cynical of an answer do you want?
my brain goes to like, maybe it just wasn't worth it in the grand scheme of things. Like, yes, it was a lot of money, but maybe it was just difficult to make happen.
My cynical answer, that Hearthstone normally sells that well, and they should just give the competitors the more money anyways, because they're going to make that much, because Hearthstone is a cash cow. It's a great game that also happens to be really well monetized. I would not be surprised if what looked like a wild success to us in the Outsiders and Esports bundle was a normal day at the office for them. Because all we saw was the cap. We never see the day-to-day pack sales. If they cap day-to-day pack sales, we might see that by 10:30 a.m. every day. Like maybe it's just they meet the cap and then they keep going. So without context, it's really hard to say it looks successful as a great marketing campaign, because people still talk about it 5 years later?
So, I was going to say it was a long time ago.
It was. A little bit of that too is a good example of it only happening once, right? If it happened multiple times, we wouldn't keep belaboring the one instance of it, but it only did happen once. So it sticks out as like this historic experiment.
Yeah, it was notable and it was distinct, but also like, I don't know how impactful it was. People really love the feeling of individual agency with their purchases, but I wouldn't be surprised if Hearthstone was successful enough, they can just give people the money that we air quotes crowdfunded, and then we buy normal packs and it's the same thing, because the only difference is a progress bar on the screen. So that's not informed by anything, but I wouldn't be surprised if like Hearthstone is a financially successful game and they can pay the people more whether they say they are or not. But we're also entering into the creator economy. I know a lot of people have talked about this too. Esports and marketing have never been more disconnected, because you don't need esports if some huge streamer just plays your game and that's enough. Like today, over on a different card game, Ben Bro played Shroud.
I saw that, yeah.
Yeah, and so like you don't need a tournament. You just get a giant streamer and a giant man wearing flannel, and you get them on the same stream, and he laughs, and then you make $1 billion. Like that's just
also one, by the way. Go up, bro. Go off.
Go up, buddy.
Okay. I had this thought/question when they put that marketing promotional material out there. What collection level are you? Because I want to not be called the 1% for once in my life, and I feel like you are right up there with Shroud. So what's your collection level, just out of curiosity?
It's a 4-digit number, and the first number is an 8.
Holy
You're
shit.
the 0.001%.
I am so fucking behind.
Don't follow this example. Don't do it. And also, I will
give you my phone for a month.
Okay, hold on.
I'm at like 6,400, and I felt good about that.
You should. I started the last weekend of May last year, and I've supported the game pretty proactively. I like supporting card games. I like Hearthstone too, by the way, which we could talk about if we wanted to awkwardly segue away from this thing that makes me uncomfortable because I'm being ashamed now. It's like I'm hovering my wallet. I'm hovering my wallet right now.
I'm so happy that I'm not the 1% and someone else is. That just chef's kiss.
I started playing that game last month, technically, because I didn't know you got to keep your beta progress.
Oh, you do?
When it came out, I was like, oh, I don't feel like starting over from zero. So I just didn't play. And last month, I was like, man, I really want to play Snap. And I should have learned easily that I did keep my progress had I logged in with the same account, but apparently I logged in a different way. And I started at 1. And by the time I figured it out, I had already overtaken my beta account. And so,
this hurts.
I'm not even to 400 yet.
Okay, well, you can play, but this is a different card game. It's fine. All card games are great, but as
I wish it was. I didn't mean to derail us out of Hearthstone.
No, it's what are people gonna do? Unsub? I wish it was an easier way to throw my money at this game to catch up. Like I know
You're gonna make me do another podcast in this podcast. We're gonna Charizard this podcast.
No, I just want everyone to understand my villainous thought of I wish it was easier to fix my card game problems with money in another card game.
So Marvel Snap is the game where gamers said, please monetize your game you're using cosmetics. And Marvel Snap said, okay. And Garrett said, no, not like that.
I'm used to spending money on my card games. And I can't.
Exactly. You are just limited to staying committed and invested in something with routine tasks and not trying to invest money to get more powerful. How's it feel? Listen, just play Pirate Warrior. You'll be fine.
As someone who has, let's say, to put it mildly, taken a shit on mobile games most of his life, and the schemes that are behind them, as the numbers 4 and 0 start to approach in the distance, I realize the concept of maybe wanting to invest a little money to make up for time you don't have. That's it. That's all I got to say. Everyone proceed to hate me now.
So the thing about the Angry Chicken, thing about this podcast here, is that some of our listeners who may have been in the late 2s when they started listening, maybe in the late 3s now, because the show's been on for 10 years. There may be some people that have mirrored your journey.
Speaking into mics, we're in the late 2s when we started the podcast.
It's true.
Yeah.
So I
don't think I will ever get over the person on Twitter who said that they started listening to TAC while they were taking care of their newborn, and that is a 10-year-old child now. And I'm like, no.
So it sounds like we want to talk about some memories, and Torby Flenderson wrote a great email. Why don't we go talk to Torby real quick in the email section for the Bump Ring and a Press right now?
Hello?
Hello, it's me.
Hello?
Just quickly, do you get my message?
Yep.
Oh.
Hello, brother.
You can no longer send your emails to DNC Podcast. So, Torby Flenderson did get a message in who says,
Hold
what
on,
is
hold
your
on.
favorite?
Jocelyn, can I just say one thing real quick? Fuck!
Queen!
I was not ready. I
got you both. That was so
I
good.
haven't heard that bumper in so long, so I was already having a moment where I thought I was like dreaming, because it's like I feel like I've been activated like a friggin' sleeper agent, like hearing that bumper. Like suddenly I'm just like, whoa, I gotta host Angry Chicken, go, segue into it. And then you hit me with that shit, like I can't handle it. That was incredible. Sorry, continue.
That's fine. I mean, don't apologize to me. Apologize to Torby. I mean,
Torby's gonna be okay.
We'll get
Torby has the
Torby's
last
question
email.
eventually.
Torby has the last email that will ever be read in Angry Chicken. Gonna be
that
fine.
is true. All right. So Torby Flenderson asks, what is your favorite Hearthstone memory, and what piece of WoW lore, location, character class, or mechanic that has not been included in Hearthstone yet, but you hope is included in the future? So do you want to tackle Hearthstone memories first or WoW lore first?
I think WoW lore is kind of a freebie because I put a comment
let's
in the
start
show
there.
notes. Why is Ulduar not in the game still? Because when League of Explorers was about to come out, before it was revealed that they just made something up and shoved it in the game, you two were like, Ulduar. And everyone listening to the show was like, well, yeah. And it's still not in the game. So, Blizzard, what's up?
Well, and especially when, like, we've had now multiple Lich King expansions. And, like, very little no Ulduar.
I was about to say, Lich King it sells things, but you know what else sells things? Ulduar sells things. Like
we've had all kinds, and obviously I don't have internal Blizzard sales data, but we've had all kinds of like celestial things, like portraits and stuff, especially over on the Battleground side. Like there's a whole bundle, and I'm like, I hit buy faster on that thing than anything else ever. Like, you make things out of stars? Yes, please. I will take more of that. And that was all Ulduar was.
And
Well, not
Algalon's
all
a
it was,
bartender. Algalon's a
Yeah.
bartender in
Algalon's a
BGs.
bartender.
He will
Yeah.
coldly talk to you about the calculations in Battlegrounds while you're losing. I can speak from
Yes.
experience. He'll do that.
Yeah, I think we'll probably get the Ulduar expansion as the first expansion in the Year of the Unicorn.
Right. But so, outside of Ulduar, is there any other place that we'd really like to go to?
I would like to see something on the PvP side of things. Like, I want to see either like a 2v2 or a 3v3 game mode. Because, like, I was thinking about it and I'm like, there's tons of like WoW lore and you know, obviously WoW is an ongoing game, so they're constantly making more and more content over there. So there's always stuff they could do. But like, I feel like just in terms, I know we've talked about how there's too many modes in that poor Hearthstone held together with duct tape client, but I think it'd be really cool to see what a 2v2 or a 3v3 version of Hearthstone could look like. And I have no idea how that would work. But like, I have like Hearthstone, I was gonna say I have Hearthstone Arena in my head because I momentarily forgot Arena's already a Hearthstone mode.
Yeah.
But I mean Arena in like the PvP sense, in the 2v2, 3v3 sense, not in the draft sense.
Not a draft.
Whatever.
Yeah. If this said game mode or mechanic or something, I would have been like, any other limited format, please. That would have been my answer. I've been asking for it. Like, I mean, since like the first like 5 episodes of The Angry Chicken, we talked about flying minions. That was more of a Magic thing. We talked about two-player game, like what was in Magic? I never play it, but two-headed giant.
Two-headed giant.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah, two-headed giant. We talked about two-headed giant so many times in the first year of this podcast. And it seemed like a no-brainer, like to us, but boy howdy, yeah. I mean, also we asked for upside down cards to be right side up, and I don't think we're ever gonna get that. So, but to keep it fun, yeah, I have no idea. Ulduar is the answer. Ulduar is like the low hanging, like really like how have we gone this long without it being in the game? Fruit. I always wanted a Booty Bay expansion. I'm really fond of it. I think of it as like the Florida of World of Warcraft. We've gotten plenty of pirate stuff though, so like I can't really complain. But I have a lot of love for Booty Bay, so I'd love a ridiculous.
Part of me is really glad that there was no Booty Bay expansion while this podcast existed, because honestly, I could not keep my innuendo in check. I couldn't do it. It would just be butt jokes all day, every day, and yeah, it'd be bad.
Because booty's like a butt.
What was the song in like the early 10s? It was just like Eris. I would have had that on sample. And that would have been the episode. It would have been Joss making butt jokes and me hitting that bumper. That would have been it. That would have been the episode for an entire expansion cycle if Booty Bay was an expansion. So yeah. But it was always in the back of my head. Long before they ever did anything with the Lich King, I really thought it'd be hysterical if they did an 80s ski movie themed Northrend expansion. Where you get Arthas, pre-Helm Arthas, but post-Frostmourne Arthas with like a white hair mullet. Like he's the bully ski character on the ski slope from the 80s movie. And they never went with that. And we got 2 Lich King expansions. So I don't think that's ever happening.
But Death Knights are in the game now, though. So I'm pretty sure Northrend
can I get that as a skin,
evergreen.
Please? Yeah, can I get 80s mullet Arthas skin, please?
But so actually, I think I have like a non-Ulduar lore suggestion, because I don't know if we've ever. So we've had like gangster sets and we've had sets with pirates in them. I don't know if we've had a pirate set outside of like Deadmines, I guess. I don't know.
No, but we got an entire Battlegrounds update, and at that time I was definitely playing more Battlegrounds, so I felt like I got my pirate expansion.
But I'd love to have like a naval Cultiris expansion where you could do a lot with Jaina. You could do the Barala stuff, right? But also just put every character on a boat and give them a hat, and that's Hearthstone, baby.
Yeah. Dude, I feel like someone on the team right now is like, how do they know? Because that sounds extremely Hearthstone. Like, it might be just coming down the pipe. We got a year of the freaking Kraken. How do we not get a nautical expansion? I'm just realizing that.
There's still time.
Like, oh, guys, you could have just made it in the Zoth, and then you're on boats. Like,
we had the Under the Sea. We had
Voyage, yes.
yeah, but that was
Voyage,
again, that was Coachella
Thank you.
underwater.
I'm glad you got it from this.
But see, here's the thing. You can't wear a hat underwater. You can wear a helm. You can't wear a hat.
Oh.
If you're above
Can you wear a
water,
hat under your helm? I mean, you're the hat expert, so
you
hat
can't,
under
it's
helm,
uncomfortable.
doable, not?
It's very compressed. It's really not built for that. But
You
above
could do
ground,
a beanie, and that's very popular with sailors.
a beanie.
Whatever
Garrett.
they're called in Canada land, I forget.
A toque.
Is that it?
Yes.
A toque, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, which is actually a hobbit. I don't know why you're calling a hat a hobbit, but sure.
No
I don't
one.
think the
when you
toques
say
appreciate that.
when you say crazy hat expansion, no one is thinking of beanies or toques. That's not what people are thinking of. That is not the evocative hat vibe. I want water, boats, hats, Cultiris, do some Jaina lore, get Matt London to write it. He has a script already. It'll be fine. And go pirates. Go do it.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
I think that'd be fun. Anyways, but what about favorite Hearthstone memories? So I'm going to pitch it to Garrett, because I know you got to go deep in the mines. Deep in the mines.
It's about the game, or is it about doing this show?
Just answer the question. I don't care.
My brain is full of too many awesome things that happened as a result of this game.
So go ahead. That's
Like,
fine.
here it goes. Here's the beginning of what you all came for. Like, I have experienced too many wonderful things as a result of being a part of this podcast. I don't know the answer. Like, so many freaking the first thing that popped in my head was waiting in line for merch with Katie and Joss during it was the freaking Goblins and Gnomes expansion. The merch line was so long, we both really wanted it was the Heroes of the Storm hoodie that year. It was such a good hoodie. I still have it. I barely wear it because it's way too freaking thick for Florida. So it is actually my most pristine hoodie I still own. But we're like, fuck it, let's get in line because we're gonna be here all goddamn day. The line is that long.
And luckily, it was when the merch was still in the main hall, so we actually got to like watch the Hearthstone presentation as we slowly plodded our way around that like 4-hour line.
Yeah, we watched what was Ripsaw, Buzzsaw. What was the Saw card? You were like vibrating from excitement, and no one played it.
Blade.
Yes, Bouncing Blade.
Bouncing Blade?
You were so excited, and it like went nowhere at launch. Like no one
You
played
play that
card.
with Grim
Doesn't even
Patron.
matter.
You play it with Patron, and everybody got in there.
Yes, but it took a while. I remember at launch, like Joss being
The
like,
animation, yes, animation took forever.
Yeah, but I mean the one really, like we had a meetup every year at BlizzCon. If you're unaware, BlizzCon feels like another lifetime at this point.
I know.
But every year at BlizzCon, and we went to the bowling alley. It was like, we didn't rent it out or anything. I called one year, by the way. It was like $5,000 to rent a room, and you were required to match it with food and drink. So I told them, I hung up, and we just showed up like we always did, and it was fine. But yeah, we would always meet at the bowling alley, and we did it every year. And the first year I did it, Angry Chicken wasn't even going yet, and I think literally 4 people showed up. I was doing a StarCraft podcast at the time. Next year it was like Angry Chicken was like 5 episodes deep. Joss, you weren't even at that BlizzCon.
No, I didn't go to that BlizzCon.
And I think we were in the teens. Year after that, which I guess would have been 2014.
Yes.
Yeah, BlizzCon 2014. All 3 of us, Dills, Joss, me, were in attendance. Obviously, I'd been doing the show for over a year, and we were all a little late to the bowling alley. And we walk in, and there's over 100 people there. The bar was
Yeah,
full.
that was crazy.
And people cheered and clapped, and I cried. And that was insane. That was absolutely fucking insane. And the other part that like destroyed me was all the podcasters I listened to were already there. Having a good time. So freaking Scott Johnson, Tom Merritt was there. I remember seeing Tom walk by as we were walking up. I'm like, oh shit, Tom came. And then I walked in, I'm like, oh shit, everyone, like my whole iPod, because it's still an iPod at the time. My whole iPod's here.
Remember when Slissa didn't understand why things were called podcasts?
Yes. Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, it was insane. That's probably it, because that was the first time I really understood that, like, how many people were listening. Because yes, I had podcasts before this, but Angry Chicken blew the fuck up. At our fuck it, I'll say number. At our peak, we were at like 50,000 downloads a week. Like, it was insane. Like, I didn't know what to do with it. We should have been selling sponsorships. We weren't, because I didn't know that was a thing you could do, and I didn't know who to talk to. We could have made bank.
We were just talking about Hearthstone because we like talking about Hearthstone. That was it.
Yeah, it was insane. And it was just kind of like, I was just like, I remember at the time thinking like, oh, this must just be what happens when you quit one game and you move to another and you take all your experience and you invite some friends and they already have their own audience and you mix your audiences. No, we were absolutely right place, right time, right. Three dorks decided to talk into them. But we had no idea what we had. It was absolute lightning in a bottle. And showing up to a bowling alley I had been to, and this is my third time, so I'm very aware of what a small crowd looks like in that massive bar. To being, I can't see the bar. There's too many people here. It was a life-changing experience. I will absolutely never forget. So we're not done yet. Everyone, we're gonna still be talking for a while, but fucking thank you everybody so much for listening to the show, because you literally changed our lives.
Garrett, that was a good Hearthstone memory. Jocelyn, it is now your turn.
I mean, like, I feel like I just talked about this recently, but recording TAC at BlizzCon and having Broad and Youngwoo crash it, that was amazing.
That was
Like,
my favorite episode. I've said it every time. That is my favorite episode of The Angry Chicken, of when we were, like, I was listening, it was at BlizzCon, and they show up, and you were like, we didn't expect this, and then Bro is like, there's a chair and a mic.
Well, like, and that was just the way that the room was set up, is it was, you know, a podcast recording room, and there were, I think, like 6 or 7 mics all set up, and it was ready to go for whatever, whoever, whenever. And so, I mean, it worked out, and it was amazing, and it was so much fun. And I think, like, a lot of my favorite memories from those, like, early days were finding out that, like, Broad and Youngwoo and a lot of the other devs were, like, just actually, like, fans of TAC and of us. And it was, like, always so fun to interact with them, whether it was, like, having them on the show or at BlizzCon or whatever, because, like, it's like we were mutually fangirling. And it was so much fun. And man, those early years of TAC and of Hearthstone were really good.
The crashing the League of Explorers here. Yeah, that's another one.
And I mean, like, every single BlizzCon presentation ever, like, those were so fun.
Yeah, it was nuts. We would, like, every year post 2015, we would go get Korean barbecue with Ben Broad and Youngwoo, and various other members of Team 5, and eventually Second Dinner. Like, there were 2 years we went, and they weren't at Blizzard anymore, but we still met up for Korean barbecue, and they wouldn't tell us shit.
Mm-hmm.
They would just ask us how Hearthstone's going.
Yeah.
We'd sit there and have a conversation with them about Hearthstone, and just
They're such
like,
great guys.
Yeah, that was really cool. Also, it was like the first time I ever had Korean barbecue. And yes, Celeste, I see you in chat. I know you think the place we went wasn't good, but it's good to me.
This is my only Korean barbecue experience ever.
Korean barbecue is the only time I have to cook for myself and I like it. Like, it's because normally I'm not in favor of doing the work, but here's like it's a little theme park, right? Like it's a little food theme park where you take the little piece of bulgogi and it's like, what if that was hot now? And you're like, well, let me try it. And then you do, and it's great. It's fantastic.
What if this was barely cooked before I eat it?
Well, you
I
get
have
to
that
choose.
control.
You get to choose.
I get the choose. Not with pork, though. Cook the pork. Cook the pork.
Yeah,
the brisket, pull it off right away.
Yeah, but the pork, you don't want trichinosis. That stuff's nasty. You don't want that. Anyways, I love both these
What about
answers.
you, Hat?
So I have a bunch of great memories. My favorite personal memory is BlizzCon 2019 is the best BlizzCon I've been to. It's like, and I've been to a few, but that one was the one where Battlegrounds got revealed, and 2018 was a very weird time for Hearthstone. It was the year of the Raven. There was no game director. We were a little concerned about the future of the game, and then 2019 happened, and they said, "Hey, we're adding this new mode called Battlegrounds. You can play it over there." And I turned to my co-host Bodicus, and we stood up and we walked over there. And I played 9 BGs that weekend with 30-minute waits each time. And after the first 2, we went to a local Southern California place in Anaheim called Angelo's, where they do chili burgers, and the waitresses are on roller skates. And it is the diviest bar you've ever been to. And we sat there and recorded a podcast with Bodicus and Wickagood on BGs while a bunch of biker dudes were looking at us like, what the fuck are these people doing? And then we went back and we played more BGs. And I pre-ordered the expansion while I was in line so I could play more on that Tuesday. And I got home on Sunday and I couldn't play till Tuesday. And that 48 hours was torture. And it was just, that whole experience was so compelling. But there are a lot of really great memories. I remember the episode of The Angry Chicken where Yang Wu and Ben Brode crashed the panel. I remember a lot of the episodes of The Angry Chicken because one of my favorite memories is being asked to be on this show. Because, yes, we have entered the melancholy portion of this evening where I get to say, hey, I was a fan of your show for 8 years and then on it for the last 2. Do you recognize that ratio is all kinds of fucked up? Like, 80% of my time engaging with The Angry Chicken has been as a fan of Joss and Garrett, where I go up to Joss and I say, how did you know it was kobolds? And she said, I don't know, and she laughed with blue hair. I'm sorry, Joss, I brought it up!
There was a candle at the bottom. I mean, like, we made hundreds of guesses at expansions over the years. And to be fair, I didn't guess that it was kobolds and catacombs. I guessed that there were kobolds because there was a candle.
You didn't guess their habitat. It was fine. It was fine.
Yeah. Yeah, Windmill slammed that one. The bastards too, gave us the freebie card, and it was a pirate, and I'm like, it's a pirate expansion. It's a pirate expansion. I'm getting my booty bay. I did not
Never
get
the
my
booty.
bay.
Garrett got no booty.
No.
So, the thing about Hearthstone is that there are too many great memories, and if you ask me to remember a specific game right now, I'm not going to do that. That's not a thing I'm going to do. I am deep in my emotions and my scotch, and both are inhibiting to my memory recall. But in terms of what I remember about the community around this game, there is frankly too much to say. I remember being invited on Coin Conceit after guessing on a little show called 1600 Dust. That was my first podcast appearance because I just tweeted until they were like, what if you read a bunch of tweets in a row on a show? And I was like, I could probably do that. And then I talked to them, and that podcast was 20 minutes, which is like the Twitter of podcasts. It was perfect. And then Cora was on Coin Conceit. And they were like, well, she's so awesome, she's getting promoted. Are you, like, a little less awesome? And I'm like, oh, I'm a lot less awesome. They were like, you got the job. That's not what they said, but it's how I think about it in my head. I don't know. It was just, like, thinking about that journey, it's been a long road. But this is really not specific. So, Torby, I hope this answered your question. I really
What's
hope
your
this
favorite Hearthstone memory? All of it?
I mean,
Yeah.
So, okay, hold on. I have a bone to pick with you, too.
First
I have
live
a bone
Angry
to pick
Chicken
with
at
you, too.
Nerdtacular. I'm just going to rattle off a few, 17 more.
Go ahead.
Yeah, first live one at Nerdtacular. I still remember those creepy showers at Snowbird. You know what I'm talking about, Josh.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not as steamy as this story sounds. No, all our room. So Nerdtacular was this wonderful convention that podcaster and friend of the show Scott Johnson would put on annually. He hasn't done it in a long time. He's doing it in Vegas now. Scott, bring it back. I need to go to the mountains, not the desert with questionably priced lobster nowhere near salt water. I'd rather go back to the mountains, please. But it happened at a ski resort called Snowbird in the off season. So you'd go in July, and it was a big podcasting convention. And all of the hotel rooms had a big glass. The best way I can describe it is like most hotels, you go into the bathroom and it's there. And then like on the other side of the wall is essentially the bedroom, like with the beds and the window looking outside. On the wall on the shower that like in the shares with the beds, there was just a big bay window. It was a big glass window.
Like floor to ceiling.
Yeah. Now there was a curtain on the inside so you could close it so people couldn't see you showering. And
Or you could leave it open and look at the mountains. You
yes,
never had
but
a mountain shower.
I was
Garrett.
rooming with Dills, so it was fucking weird.
This
Yeah,
sounds
it was-
weird
it
now
was-
that you mention it.
Yeah, there's a photo of the three of us
Yes,
in
there
the
is.
shower. Yeah, and it's still to this day one of my favorite photos that has anything to do with podcasting because it's just like
It's ridiculous.
it's so ridiculous. If you look at it, it just kind of looks like we're in a window. But it's one of those things where like the more you look at it, the
Yeah, then
more
you're like, wait,
wrong.
is that a toilet?
You're just like, wait, is that a shower? Like, it just
think
starts
about
to
it.
get weirder. But that's one of them, and that was like the first time we ever did a live show like in the same room together because like we've always every version of the show, the hosts have always been scattered to the wind. Like we've never been in the same location or country.
Yeah.
So like that was a big deal. CreateCon was a huge one. Most of that for me was just a constantly panicking because it was my first time putting on a conference, and it was small, but that was cool as shit. Like that was another, much like the BlizzCon bowling, where like it meant a lot that listeners showed up, but it also meant a lot that people I look up to show up. Same thing happened to CreateCon. Like people actually came and bought tickets, and also like friends of ours who are way more successful podcasters came out, put their name on the bill, did a show, and helped put asses in seats.
Oh, they made me
And-
go on Night Attack, and I was so bad.
Yeah, and that's why
That's
I
a
was,
hard
funny
show.
enough and improv-y enough to be on that show.
That
Yeah.
show, you know the phrase "hard act to follow." That entire show is just a bunch
Oh.
of difficult acts to follow. They're so snappy. Like they can talk about politics and make it interesting. I don't know like how you expect it to stay on beat with that, but I'm sure you did. Fine.
Joss, do you remember the other year at Nerdtacular when I won their game? Don't get Brodied.
Oh, yeah.
Which is, it's basically like if your story bores us at any moment, we're voting you off, and if you can complete your story, you win. And I was the one that completed my story, and that was the first time I was on Night Attack because they were like, "You're funny, come up," and I'm like, "I'm not. Just that story is." Yeah, it was, and anyway, that's why I will always do anything Brian or Justin asks because they came to my conference and definitely like 100% helped people show up and buy tickets. So it's like there's a lot.
I remember listening to the CreateCon lead up and you two both sounding increasingly anxious and like it was a thing. But before we go into the outro, I do have one significant problem that I would like, a grievance that I'd like to air with both of you. Back in the day, I sent in a crazy game story and neither of you read it. I Harrisoned
Shit.
a Jiraxis weapon, and neither of you acknowledged me on the air on your show. And now, 7 years later, I am a sleeper agent here to bring you guilt. Because
Do you have the crazy game story handy? Can you read it now?
Wait,
been
no,
looking
hold
for
on,
it.
because there's
I can't
one more
immediately
thing
find
there's one more thing that's fucking required. Do you have the bumper?
Probably not, because we haven't done crazy game stories in probably 5 years or more.
well, Garrett, I would have looked in the Dropbox, but funny story.
So, what happens is I am grossly aware of the futility of trying to have enough space on my Dropbox. So periodically I go in and I go, what hasn't been accessed in forever? And what came up was every podcast folder ever, because I literally quit everything I've ever done last year, except for youtube.com/eMoveTV, where you can find my YouTube channel. But that's
Very
okay. I got you covered. One
Do you
second.
have-
I will now give you permission to tell your crazy game story when we go to this week's crazy game story.
Has the whole world gone crazy?
You're in trouble now.
You got it!
This week's crazy game story comes to us from
Ridiculous.
Ridiculous Hat.
I have not heard that bumper since we had a different president in this country. 2 different presidents, actually. That's 2 presidents ago.
Yes. Yes.
What the fuck?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I don't have the original crazy game story because I was looking for it and I assumed I had it and I didn't. So this was all a big bluff and I've been called and I wanted to divert attention. So I could tell you more about a Hearthstone game or Garrett, I could talk about what great work you did on this project you've been working on. So instead of me taking responsibility, why don't we do some validation of you and then play this content?
Sure. Is this the part where we all need to bring up a video because doing sound over Discord is hard?
Yes.
I
Okay.
wasn't going to mention it out loud, but that genie is well out of the bottle by now. So
It's the final episode. It's fine.
So here's the great thing that you all get to take with you to Podcast Graves. I'll fix it in post. It's fine. So, listeners, we've been blessed over the last 10 years, and I've only been here for a couple of them, but man, I've been a fan for the rest of it, of having a lot of really, really great people involved with the Angry Chicken. And Garrett, when he found out that things were winding down, he said, let me make some calls. So, what we would like to do... Go ahead.
I would like to tee it up this way. What I've brought with me today is I just happened to be recording The Office the day I got the news from Joss. And so what I brought with you today is real captured footage of what it was like learning that the Angry Chicken is ending for me.
So, do you all have the link queued up?
I do.
So, the Angry Chicken finale reel begins in 3, 2, 1.
Fuck. Hello and welcome to episode 1 of The Angry Chicken. I am Garrett Weinzerl, and joining me, as they will be for weeks to come, hopefully, is Willie Dills Gregory and Jocelyn Moffat. This is our 100th episode, and this is indeed the 200th episode. It's time. It's time to just celebrate the 300th episode.
Congrats on 400.
Congratulations on 400 episodes, guys.
Please welcome to the show new permanent co-host, Ridiculous Hat.
Hi, everybody.
Thank you guys so much for supporting us for 500 episodes. I'm probably going to do that a lot tonight because I'm really excited.
Hey Joss, hey Hat, and everyone else who's ever worked on The Angry Chicken.
Hey guys, Scott Johnson here. I'm so sad to hear that TAC is going away.
Hello, Angry Chicken.
Hello, you beautiful angry chickens.
What's going on, TAC crew?
The Angry Chicken.
Hi, TAC.
Angry Chicken.
10 years of The Angry Chicken.
It's been almost 10 years and over 500 episodes.
Hey, it's Edelweiss.
What up? It's Ben Brode.
I learned of Hearthstone from The Angry Chicken. I didn't know that Hearthstone was a game. I knew that my friends were doing a podcast about a Blizzard game. It was because of you guys that I got into it, and it has been thousands of dollars wasted. So I hope you feel bad.
I just wanted to thank you guys for all the years of entertainment, all the years of laughs, and for making me feel like a part of it.
I will always remember the hours of entertainment that TAC always gave to me.
But I will remember most above all of those is the way that you two made me feel welcome.
You've been here the whole time, and we've been here with you. And we just want to say congratulations and thank you so much. So
Thank
TAC.
Nailed it.
While it's hard to imagine the Hearthstone podcasting space without TAC, I'm confident that you will continue to do incredible things on this next stage of your respective journeys.
I want to thank you guys for being such a big part of the Hearthstone content creation and community over the years. Your consistency and great content has certainly shaped it to what it is today.
It's inspired me to, do Hearthstone podcasting of my own. And I'm sure there are a lot of people like that have found something that they want to do because of the Angry Chicken, or found community because of the Angry Chicken. And that's really something special.
Mr. Ben Brode from Blizzard Entertainment.
When I first got started on Hearthstone in 2008, 15 years ago, I never expected... No, I'm just kidding. I didn't expect it to be humongous.
I am here getting real cozy with 3 members of Team 5.
But I wasn't quite prepared for what that would mean for me and what it would feel like to be part of an incredible community. And the Angry Chicken was one of the most special parts of the Hearthstone community for me.
We've got some safari adventures.
What is happening?
Oh my God.
I always love being a guest on the podcast.
Microphone right
Lindsay
there.
told us you can ask us no questions.
Okay.
And listening to y'all call us idiots. It was just a wonderful time in my life, and I really appreciate the fact that y'all did it for so long.
We're also here with the Night Attack boys, Brian Brushwood.
If there's one memory that will always sing in my heart, it's the time that you took a moment to highlight. Somebody who moved from dad legend to actual legend using nothing but the simplest Face Hunter deck. I forget who that was, except for I totally know it's me.
Champion of probably the most guest spots on this podcast ever, Justin Robert Young.
The Angry Chicken is a podcast that I've cited a lot of being one of a perfect kind of synergy of personalities.
You guys have done a wonderful job.
I will mourn the loss of TAC.
And still to this day, is there anything that compares in the podcast world to the Angry Chicken when it comes to Hearthstone coverage? I don't think so. You guys cornered it early, you cornered it hard, and nobody has been able to equal what you ended up doing. It's a really good long run. And take it from somebody who's had some really good long runs. This is one of those, and you should be very proud of yourselves. It's an incredible journey. I loved being on various episodes.
With me, as always, is Willie Dills Gregory. Willie Dills Gregory. Willie Dills Gregory.
I'm sitting here with Willie Dills Gregory, who I can poke.
And I can poke him back.
All right. It's time for me to say something about the Angry Chicken and say goodbye to the Angry Chicken. Very sad to see it go, but I'm also very happy that it existed.
Keep it going! Oh, shit!
I love Jocelyn. I love Garrett. I love everything that we did with the Angry Chicken. I'm happy as hell that so many people enjoyed this thing that we created and had a good time with it. It was such a ride. And we really did take it from nothing to something. And that was the coolest thing ever. So, thank you to everybody who listened, everybody who watched the show, everybody who was a part of the show. Our community was such a pleasure for me. I feel sad right now, but I also feel really happy. It's one of those things. I'm sad that it's going away, but I'm happy that I was there for it, and I'm happy that it happened.
Angry Chicken, everyone who participated, thank you for all the good times and all the fun, and that won't go away.
Congrats on having just the most fun Hearthstone podcast ever. Bye.
Thank you so much for creating a wonderful show for all these years.
What an incredible journey!
It's precious. Thank you, guys.
Salute to TAC. Job's done.
Whatever you guys get into next, just know I'm a fan. Consider you guys friends of mine, and job's done.
And as sad as I am to hear it go away, I'm very happy at what you guys accomplished and built.
And I love everybody who watched it. And I hope everyone continues on. And I'll see you guys at the next one.
As always, job's done.
Job's done. Job's done.
Job's done.
Ooh. Well, fuck.
It's tough.
It was a good time. I'm so happy to be here.
Oh man, I can't even remember what it was the jury said, but he broke me.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh.
And then also the subsequent 8 minutes.
Yeah.
So a lot of those came in not at the same time. So I've cried a lot this week. So you're all are getting off easy.
Thank you so much for putting it all together.
I only had to do it live. No big deal.
Really appreciate you putting that together. It was a lot, but also so we have many folks we'd like to thank here in the Angry Chicken. We have some producers that we want to shout out. Dustin C, Jared F, you've been here the whole time. Thank you for everything. We have a bunch of send-off producers, Alan, Daniel S, Jared M, Spaceman Spiff, Daniel M, Brandon F, Stephen K. And it's time for people to learn where they can find us, because it won't be here anymore. So
why did you have to put it like that? Oh my god.
It's because it's the truth.
I've been
Can we roll back the tape to your emails intro?
We could, but we have a.
Sounded so sad.
We have
You
a link to
gotta
the Angry
sing
Chicken. I don't have to.
Sorry.
Let's allow ourselves to be a little melancholy right now. I'm gonna raise a glass. We've got a link to the Angry Chicken Discord, which I will figure out how to set the Discord permissions on at some point in the next 24 hours. I reserve the right to not edit the episode tonight because I'm gonna be a wreck. I'm already a wreck. And so
I have a dog that was 5 when this started, and he's now 15.
Oh my god! What are you doing?
Yeah, he's just gonna take a nap on my shoulder.
But, Joss, any final thoughts you have to share?
I won't make it through. Everything we already said. Thank you, everybody. It's been a great run. I think Dill's put it really well. Sad it's ending, happy it happened. Oh my god. I'm not gonna make it through. So that's it. Thank you, everyone. You've been amazing. That's as much as I can do.
You can find Joss on The Gamers Inn, which is a great podcast.
I didn't know you wanted me to do that part. I can get through that.
Okay,
I thought you wanted more thought.
You have the floor.
Thought.
You have the floor once now, and then never again on this show ever. So,
would you like the speaking chihuahua? Can we pass it around? You can speak now.
Can you email a chihuahua?
I mean, they're pretty small. I think they do. I think they're under the attachment size.
It's true.
Oh my god. All right. So yeah, you can find me on Twitter and Twitch as always. I'm at Joss Plays, and please do go check out the Gamers Inn. I am taking some time off of that as well while we move, but I'm hoping to be back on that show sooner rather than later. So go check out gamersinpodcast.com. It's my general gaming podcast, and it's probably going to be around for quite a while because Ryan can just take the reins while I'm gone. But yeah, if you do want to keep up with me, that is the place to do it. Sorry, Garrett, what about you?
I'm on YouTube now. I'm a YouTuber. Still feels weird to say that. But yeah, my speaking chihuahua is getting irate. Yeah, I'm on YouTube. It's the old A-Move YouTube. YouTube.com/AMoveTV is still there. Search for Grinding Gear. Me and Kyle Ferguson, you may remember him from the Into the Nexus Heroes of the Storm podcast that I did. We're over there. We're currently doing our first ever playthrough of Final Fantasy XIV. We're about to wrap up Shadowbringers. We also stream on YouTube. Yes, that's right. You can stream on YouTube, and that's where I stream now. So I upload once a week. I stream 3 days a week. And it's all on YouTube. And the Grinding Gear podcast, which is a tie-in. It's available everywhere you get your podcasts, and we also record it live. You guessed it, on YouTube. Oh, and Twitter's a thing somehow still. I thought it'd be dead by now, but you can follow me there until it implodes at Garrett Art.
Don't worry, that's happening rapidly.
And Ridiculous Hat, you've got some news. I was going to say, where can people find you? But yeah, you got some news.
Well, both are going to be true. So twitter.com/ridiculoushat is the hub of my Twitter content. And all of my content, you'll want to stay in touch with that. There are two other podcasts that I think that you should all follow. Coin Concede over at coinconcede.com makes the competitive side of the game accessible to you. And Vicious Syndicate takes a data-driven look at the high-level Legend metagame. But listeners, I apologize tremendously for adding to your Hearthstone news this week and for not being entirely honest with you, because Jocelyn, my co-host, has been tremendous in shouldering the blame and saying, oh yeah, I'm growing a human and moving, like whatever, can't do things, but I'm not ready for this, but I'm going to say it anyways. Listeners,
you can do it! We've done it all night!
So, this morning, after 16 years with the company I've been with, I put in my notice because in 2 weeks, I am going to be the new community manager, associate community manager for Hearthstone. And I am tremendously excited to join the team. But also, that is the end of my run as a content creator. And I could not be prouder to announce it here on the final episode of The Angry Chicken, because the end of this journey is the start of a new one for me. Since I was 20 years old, I've worked for the same company, making popcorn and picking up trash from my hands, not as glamorous as it sounds. And over the past few years, I have built really a great connection with everyone. With all of you, I've moderated panels or been on panels with both of you, and it's been such an honor. And I'm gonna help get other people into the same spot working for Blizzard now. And it's been a weird day. I found out
good.
I found out last night, got the final offer.
You found out last night?
Last night, got the final offer this morning. Gave my notice today, sent out the company-wide BCC.
Oh my!
Talked to a bunch of people that are like, I never thought you would leave, and I was like, me neither, bro.
Has my gift gotten there yet? Because you should drink it. This is a day to celebrate.
Don't you worry about my alcohol consumption. I got you covered. But
dude, congratulations.
Thank you. But also, this is just weird as fuck because I'm not gonna do podcasts anymore. So we'll talk through this in my other shows when I am less deeply emotional than I am right now. But thank you both for being here through this all, and thank you both for the inspiration, and thank you everyone that's listening to this show, to all my other shows, that's ever followed me on Twitter, to anyone, because you helped me get here. If you hear me saying this, you helped me get here. And my mission on the other side is to help you get where you want to go. so we'll talk. Don't worry. I'm not going to stop tweeting. Not that anyone was ever worried about that. But it's going to be
It's literally going to be your job now, is the tweeting.
I can do that.
It's really a bad play on their part because they did they not realize that you were doing the same thing for free and now they have to pay you?
No, Garrett. Take it back.
Oh shit! I'm sorry.
Garrett, do me a
very
favor.
sorry.
Shut your mouth. Shut it.
Okay. Oh,
shut it.
Hey, buddy, you got the editing powers. Just make sure you just cut that bit. Just cut that bit. No one will ever know.
We'll fix
no
it
one
in
will
post.
ever know.
It's fine. So, anyways, I'm truly honored to be welcomed on the Blizzard team. I'm really, really excited about the future. Today is a very strange day. I'm so bad at quitting. I haven't done it since 2005. It's like I don't know how to quit, but so I just called my boss like, I guess I give you my notice now, and he's like, what? And I'm like, I know, right? So, today is a day. Something is ending, something is starting, but listeners, thank you all so much for being here. Both of you, thank you for being good friends first and good co-host second. And Garrett, thank you for making me cry a little. Just a little.
It is everyone that sent in those messages, really. All I did was shittily record a song I like so that we wouldn't get demonetized, but then we played Final Countdown at the beginning of the show, so it probably didn't matter.
It's not in it for the money, unless you're my boss at Blizzard, in which case you can pay me.
Thank you both for continuing the show on. It felt really good to know it was still going on, and none of this is to make the fact that it is now ending sadder.
I was gonna say, geez,
no,
gut punch.
I mean
Thanks, Garrett.
It couldn't have been harder to leave, except that was the only thing that was easy because I knew it was in good hands. You were such a good fit, Hat. Like I was so happy when you said yes to join the show full time. I was like, oh, awesome. I like the two-head, but it started as a trio, and it always felt like it should be a three-headed show, and it just felt right with you. If I start thanking you, Joss, we're gonna be here.
Yeah, don't.
I'll just say thanks for saying yes to doing the podcast, and for being a good friend all these years. You freaking helped me set up my wedding, for crying out loud. Like you cut flowers.
No, hold on. You set up each other's weddings, you bitches.
Oh no, I didn't set up Joss's wedding. I just came and drank free booze.
Okay, you were useless.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, well, hold on. I'm from Florida, and it was February in Toronto.
It was February in Canada, so
so
he kind of got off the plane and froze.
The coldest I've ever been is at Jocelyn's wedding. Yeah. It was wild.
Outside too in Canada in February.
It was very pretty though. Oh boy, it was very pretty. But yeah, we've been through a lot. I think I said it on the episode when I left the show. We've been through a lot. But thank you for it. And Dills, dude, if you're listening, thanks for everything. Particularly thank you for picking up the phone and talking to me and sending in a message. Because we had a wonderful talk. I'm not gonna blow it up here, but everyone knows we've had friction over the years. But we had an awesome talk, and to me, it meant the world to me that Dills sent in a message. So thanks, brother.
Ladies and gentlemen, I don't need much from you, but from both of you, I need 2 words. Jocelyn?
Job's done.
Garrett?
Job's done.
This job's done. I'll see you all for the next one. Yes!
My glass is empty, so cheers.
My water's empty.
Yeah. Anyone who guessed at my house, this is the bottle I drank from.
So, listeners...
I'm trying not to ugly cry.
So, listeners, how did your evening go?
I think it went all right. I think it went all right.
It's been a weird day.
Yeah, great. Super.
Has been a weird day.
So good.
Has been a weird day.
So,
the back half of that show just came in swinging like a wrecking ball because the first half was so normal.
Yeah, but then
I wanted that. I couldn't have done 90 minutes of that bullshit. I couldn't have.
We talked about patch notes.
30.
We were
shared a few
good.
more stories.
We talked about the meta impact of Light Ray. We did good. We did good.
I'm due on October 13th, chat room. So I'm 14 weeks currently.
Chat room, we love you, but we need to talk to each other right now, and I'm going to allow us to take that time. So, thank you all for being here. Don't worry. You can tune into Coincacy tomorrow if you want to see me try to hold back tears for, like, a while. It's going to happen for a little bit, but Angry Chicken is signing off. So, thank you all for being here. We'll talk to you soon, okay?
Night all.